I had a 5-year secret relationship with my brother's best friend, and we planned to make it public on New Year's Eve. At the banquet, he didn't mention a word about it. Instead, he leaned close to my ear and said half-jokingly, "I'm tired of sleeping with you. Why don't you marry someone else, okay?" I nodded calmly and said, "Okay," just because in my past life I tearfully begged him, insisting I'd marry no one else. After I got my wish and married him, he turned cold and heartless. Even keeping his eyes closed throughout our intimate moments, he didn't even care when I was hemorrhaging during childbirth. Morgan, choosing instead to celebrate his white moonlight's birthday at Disneyland. At that moment, I finally understood, love that is begged for is destined to fade away. Given a second chance at life, I smiled and agreed, "I'm tired of it too, let's break up." After hearing those words come out of my mouth, Ian Spencer froze for a moment, thinking he must have misheard. I, who have always been quick to explode at the slightest spark, suddenly became docile. He reined in that half-joking tone and looked at me seriously. "Maya, do you know what I was just saying?" A faint, indifferent smile still lingered on my face. "I know, didn't you say I should find someone else, in my past life?" If he had said even the slightest thing that displeased me, I would have clawed at him like a frantic cat until he admitted his mistake. But this time, I chose to let him have his way. And to free myself as well. Ian frowned. "Maya Grant, what's wrong with you today?" Before Ian could finish, the sound of shattering glass came from the next table. Immediately after, a figure in white disappeared through the door in tears. Hearing the commotion, people at nearby tables turned to look. "My brother Wesley Bodian, isn't that your ex who threw the glass? What, did you invite her today? It's the New Year season, not exactly the time for smashing things. Could it be because of you?" Ian frowned even more deeply, his handsome brows knitting together as he stood up and strode toward the door. Before long, the crying outside the door gradually softened, turning into whispers like those between lovers. The dishes kept coming, and I indifferently ate the food that had been served in my bowl. In the past, with every new dish served, I would eat a little and place it in his small bowl. This had been my habit since I met him. He received many work calls and often had to step out to answer them halfway through the meal. Every time my brother sees me being so attentive to Ian, he always gets jealous. "Wow, you're serving Ian food again. You're never this considerate to me. I've noticed for a while now. Could it be that you like Ian, that guy?" Several times, I almost blurted out the truth. Instantly, Ian put distance between us, ruffling my hair like a little sister, smiling as he introduced me as his sworn sister. I understood his meaning immediately. He didn't want our relationship to be public. For 5 whole years, he never posted anything about me on social media, not even posts visible only to me. He seems unwilling to leave any traces of the love we once shared. Yet, precisely because I love him so desperately, I willingly hide behind the sunlight time and again. Seeing me quietly eating, my brother teased, "Why don't you go check on your Ian brother? Be careful, or he might run off with another girl later." My hand holding the chopsticks paused for a moment. Him running off with another girl? What does that have to do with me? As his sworn sister, there's no need for me to disturb them. My brother stared at me intently, as if trying to read something from my expression. Today is Ian's birthday, and we had originally planned to officially announce our relationship today, but I never expected him to invite his first love, Elise, here. At that moment, Ian and Elise returned. Elise's eyes were red, as if she had just been crying. Ian held her hand, occasionally comforting her. My brother whistled at the sight. "Ian, Elise Harper, did you two get back together?" As soon as the words were spoken, Ian suddenly looked up at me, a flicker of panic in his eyes. "What nonsense. We've been old classmates for years. What's wrong with showing some concern?" My shameless brother then leaned in. "I'm your old classmate too. Can you show some concern for me, Tilda?" Ian pushed him away with a laugh. "Get lost." Seeing Elise looking all delicate and dependent, I pulled my brother away. "Big bro, stop interrupting second brother and Elise couple time. Hurry back for dinner." With a beaming smile, I looked at Ian and said, "Right, second brother." Hearing this form of address, Ian paused momentarily. He gave me an inscrutable look but ultimately said nothing. Escorting Elise away, The two had just left the table when the surrounding crowd began to gossip. "I told you the white moonlight effect is powerful. Didn't I? Judging by their interaction tonight, there's an 80% chance they're getting back together." Absolutely. Back then, Elise was in urgent need of a kidney transplant due to renal failure, and Ian didn't hesitate to give her his own kidney before he even fully recovered. He rushed to the hospital to take care of Morgan. He literally gave her half his life. Now that Elise has returned to the country, they'll probably never part again. Hearing these words, my heart ached so much I could barely breathe. It turns out their fates had been tightly intertwined all along, only I was like a fool, maintaining a relationship with him that couldn't see the light of day. In my past life, after Ian and I got married, everything changed drastically. He stopped touching me, slept in separate rooms, and even insisted on using separate chopsticks for meals. It wasn't until his parents pressured us to have children that he reluctantly held me to fulfill the obligation. That night, he demanded the lights be off and kept his eyes closed the entire time, as if enduring utter humiliation. The next day, he went to Elise's house to spend the night and didn't return until morning. One winter, I came down with the flu and lay in bed, weak and powerless. I wanted him to take me to the hospital, but he impatiently refused, citing overtime work as the reason. Instead, he accompanied Elise to a nail salon, where the staff praised them for being a loving couple. When I was in labor, I bled heavily at home and called him in tears. He finally exploded. "It's just giving birth, isn't it? It's not like you're going to die. What's there to cry about? Take a taxi to the hospital yourself. I'm very busy. I'll hang up if there's nothing else." Before I could finish speaking, he hung up directly. When I called again, the phone showed it was turned off. In Elise's social media feed, she posted 8 consecutive updates with photos of Ian celebrating her birthday with her at Disneyland. In every 9-square grid, the center photo was always Ian and Elise kissing. At that moment, I lost all will to live. "Ian, if you don't love me, what's the point of keeping this child?" I severed all means of survival, threw my phone out the window, and watched helplessly as the blood spread. I died from excessive blood loss, and even then, Ian still thought I was acting. At the birthday party, without Ian as the host, everyone quickly went their separate ways. I was in no mood for fun and left right after finishing the meal. Ian, who used to text me every 3 minutes, was unusually quiet tonight. Outside the window, the sound of firecrackers celebrating the new year could be heard. Yet I felt no joy of the season. At midnight, a firework lit up the window. Ian, who rarely posts on social media, suddenly updated his feed. In the photo, Elise was sleeping soundly on his shoulder, looking serene and well-behaved. The caption was just one word, her. Just 1 minute after the post went up on the Moments, the comments section started piling up like crazy. Grant 99, happy wedding. May you have a harmonious union lasting 100 years. I casually gave it a like. But when I refreshed, the post was gone from my Moments. The next second, Elise sent me a message. Ian gave me a ride home, and I accidentally fell asleep on his shoulder. It was too late and I was worried about him going back alone, so I let him stay overnight at my place. You wouldn't mind, right? I casually replied with a From now on, Ian can be with whoever and do whatever. It's none of my business anymore. Just as I was about to sleep, Ian sent me a message too. What? Are the two of them already in sync to this extent? Elise just returned to the country and didn't buy many clothes for the new year. Don't you have a few new ones? Lend them to her to wear tomorrow. The mall is closed. Afraid I won't make it in time to buy. Seeing this message, my already gloomy mood instantly hit rock bottom. The new clothes I bought myself, I haven't even worn them yet. Yet I have to give them to the person he loves most. What is he to me? I sulked and didn't reply. Turning off my phone directly, unexpectedly, early the next morning, Ian showed up at my doorstep with Elise. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Ian rang my doorbell. My brother ran to open the door and saw Ian and Elise standing outside with a pile of gifts. Everyone except me happily welcomed them. Ian lost his parents at a young age and was raised by his grandmother. Since he was also our neighbor, my parents had long considered him half a son. Ian gave me a deep look as he entered. My mom smiled and said to Elise, "You must be Ian's girlfriend, right? It's been years since we last met. You've become so much more beautiful. Thank you, Auntie. It's been years, but you're still as youthful as ever. Elise really knows how to talk. Just a few words had my parents grinning from ear to ear. Maya, what are you dawdling about in your room for? Come out and greet Urian brother and Elise sister. I obediently poured Ian and Elise a cup of tea, saying respectfully, second brother. Elise's family, Happy New Year. Ian looked at me even more strangely. Just as I was going to the bathroom, he suddenly sent me a message. What are you sulking about? I just left it on read. At lunch, we had a little incident over seating arrangements. I was sitting in my usual spot, when Ian silently took the seat next to me. That's my brother's seat. My brother stared. Asian took his seat, then glanced at the empty spot beside Elise, his eyes widening. Damn, why are you stealing my spot? Go sit next to your girlfriend already. With that, he pulled Ian up. After some playful bickering, Ian ended up sitting across from me. The moment he sat down, I felt like sitting on pins and needles. He gazed at me with profound eyes. I averted my gaze and began eating in silence. Midway through the meal, he went to answer another phone call, looking at the empty small bowl in front of him. I swallowed a bite of vegetables and ultimately chose to ignore it. When he returned, he deliberately glanced at the small bowl and then looked at me. My brother noticed and quickly explained on my behalf, we're family eating together, no one's competing with you, so don't make it hard for Maya. Just then, my mother looked at Ian, then at me, with an ambiguous gaze. She suddenly called my name at the dinner table. Maya, look at Urian brother, he's already brought his girlfriend home this year. When are you planning to bring a boyfriend home for us to meet? Ian opened his mouth as if wanting to say something. I interrupted him. If Mom, Dad, or my brothers have any introductions, feel free to recommend them to me. In the past, I would have flatly refused such questions. Seeing me change my stance this time, my brother was instantly moved to tears. He gave my shoulder a firm pat and said, Maya, you've finally come to your senses. As long as you're interested, I'll arrange for you to meet some handsome guys right after dinner. I laughed and said okay. My gaze unintentionally drifting toward Ian, but I noticed his lips were tightly pressed, and his expression had turned very grim. Amidst everyone's laughter, he suddenly interrupted us. Auntie, stop joking. Elise is just an old classmate of mine. My mom froze for a moment. Elise's smiling face also stiffened instantly. My brother, never one to miss stirring the pot, chimed in. So you're still single? How about I introduce you to Maya then? Hearing this, my already flustered heart tightened to its limit. He immediately nudged my brother. Stop joking. Maya is my sister. The hanging heart finally died, dead through and through. I took a deep breath and mustered all my strength to force a natural smile. Exactly, bro, don't talk nonsense. Ian is my second brother. After dinner, Ian took Elise and left. We didn't contact each other for the next few days. I ate and drank as usual, and actively participated in any class reunions. On the evening of the 5th day of the Lunar New Year, my brother had a class reunion. Seeing that I had no plans, he insisted on dragging me along. I went to bed early, refusing to go no matter what. But he said, tonight is a pivotal moment in your second brother's life. As his younger sister, you must witness it. It wasn't until we arrived at the gathering that I finally understood. Elise plans to propose getting back together with Ian at tonight's gathering, according to them. Elise and Ian's relationship visibly heated up rapidly after she returned to the country, with a high chance of reconciliation. A classmate who works at a jewelry store said that Ian went to their shop to pick out a ring the day before yesterday. There's a 90% chance it's for Elise. I basically know all of my brother's classmates, and many of them greeted me when they saw me arrive. They kept complimenting me on how much prettier I'd gotten, jokingly telling me to pick a single guy from the crowd. Laughing, I joined in their playful banter. Not far away, Ian watched silently without saying a word. Before dinner began, Elise called me out alone. Maya, I know Ian is very good to you. He's willing to listen to whatever you say. So later when I confess my feelings, could you put in a good word for me? That way, our chances of getting back together will be much higher. Elise appears gentle on the surface, but in reality, her heart is filled with malicious thoughts. She knew I liked Ian, but because he refused to go public, I had no choice but to suffer in silence. She just wanted to exploit my love for Ian, torturing me to death with this weakness. But Elise didn't know that after experiencing my past life, I had completely given up on him. So I flashed an even brighter smile than hers. "Sure, don't worry, I'll definitely do my best to help you too." Elise pursed her lips and went back to the private room. At the dinner table, Ian started crazily putting food on my plate for some inexplicable reason, just like how I used to do for him in the past. Just as the waiter brought a new serving of clay pot chicken, he picked up a piece and placed it in my bowl. I reached out to block the bowl, smiling as I said, "Second brother. I'm grown up now, I can serve myself, you should give it to Elise instead." The piece of chicken hung awkwardly in the air. Elise noticed and reached out with her bowl to take it. "Ian bro, maybe there's someone here that my sister fancies, so don't worry about it unnecessarily." As they spoke, the classmates at the table began to stand up one by one to toast Elise, welcoming her back to the country. Just as Elise picked up her glass, Ian snatched it away. "Elise gets drunk at the slightest taste of alcohol, so I'll drink this glass for her." With these words, he tilted his head back and downed the drink in one go. The crowd burst into applause and cheers. Watching Ian down one glass after another, her face began to flush with a rosy hue. Elise reached out to stop him, her voice soft as water. "Ian, you don't have to drink so much for me." It was unclear whether Ian was drunk or not. He looked at Elise with a gentle expression. "It's okay. You can't handle alcohol. They're clearly taking advantage of you." At these words, the surrounding crowd erupted in murmurs. I knew that Ian's life was about to reach its most critical moment. Elise, her face flushed, parted her rosy lips and said, "Ian, after all these years, I still can't forget you. Let's get back together. Okay, say yes, say yes." Everyone started cheering. Ian paused, seemingly caught off guard by how the situation was unfolding. The atmosphere was perfectly set. The female lead had bravely confessed her love, and all that remained was for the male lead to nod in agreement. A love story that has captured everyone's attention, a pair of peerless beauties, is about to be born. Watching the two under the spotlight, I also clapped and shouted. A girl as devoted and beautiful as Elise is a rare find. "Second brother, won't you nod in agreement?" Ian looked at me with a shocked expression. "Maya, what's gotten into you? Aren't you my girlfriend? What are you encouraging?" As soon as the words fell, everyone present fell silent. My brother was the first to react, looking at Ian in shock, then at me. "Maya, what did he call you? Girlfriend?" I smiled calmly and said, "Bro, can't you see second brother is drunk? He's just fooling around." Ian seemed quite displeased. He pushed Elise aside and walked toward me. I took a step back, and at that very moment, the sound of a wine glass shattering came from behind. By the time Ian turned to look, he rushed over in panic. Elise's calf was cut open by the glass, leaving a bloody gash. The pale skin and deep red blood formed a stark, shocking contrast. Ian winced in distress, his brows furrowing deeply. He directly scooped Elise up in his arms, but Elise glanced at me with a pout, clinging pitifully to Ian's neck as she said, "Ian, there are so many people watching. You should put me down now. Otherwise, people might misunderstand the relationship between you and me. Maya seems to be in a bad mood. Aren't you going to check on her?" Elise's voice wasn't too loud or too soft, but it just happened to reach my ears. She deliberately said this to lure Ian into clarifying his relationship with Elise in front of everyone. Unexpectedly, Ian kept a straight face and ultimately said nothing. He merely glanced at me briefly before turning to Elise and saying, "Don't mind her. Let me take you to the hospital first." With that, he carried Elise out of the private room. No sooner had the two left than my brother eagerly leaned in to gossip. "Ian, that guy never gets drunk no matter how much he drinks. Spill it. What's really going on between you two?" Considering my brother's big mouth, I decided to keep him in the dark. I shook my head. "Nothing's going on. Maybe Elise was too sudden, and he just couldn't react in time." My brother wanted to ask something more, but I waved him off and brushed it aside. I shouldn't have come to this class reunion in the first place. As soon as dinner was over, I made an excuse and left. Walking alone on the street, everywhere were couples and small groups of people, their faces lit with happy smiles, gathered together setting off fireworks. Suddenly, I felt this New Year celebration was quite meaningless. Quickening my steps, I planned to go home, wash up, and sleep. Just as I was approaching the building, Ian appeared. I sped up and ran toward the entrance. But he cut me off first. I dodged to avoid him, but he forcibly pulled me into his embrace. If I hadn't experienced my past life, perhaps I would have been tempted by this warm embrace. The next second, I leaned against him and burst into tears, but having lived a second life, I coldly pushed him away. Second brother, this is right under my family's apartment. What if my parents see us and misunderstand? He paused. The hand he had extended to me ultimately withdrew. Sometimes I don't understand. If you're ashamed of me, why stay with me at all? He demanded. What's wrong with you today? Why were you joining in with that crowd? I shrugged indifferently. Isn't it true? Elise still holds a torch for you. Maya, and you nearly gave your life saving her back then. I think you two are quite compatible. Getting back together is normal. I was just being honest, Ian, but he took it the wrong way. He rarely showed a hint of a smile. What about you? Have you forgotten your place? Who was it that said if I got too close to any girl, someone would? Ian, I said, looking straight at him, enunciating each word clearly. We've already broken up. The next second, Ian finally panicked. Who said we broke up? I won't allow it. What's not allowed? Before I could speak, my brother's boisterous voice came from behind me. I turned around with a smile and explained. Second brother wants to give Elise a ring, so he came to ask me what styles girls like. He said if I don't answer seriously, he won't allow me to go home. Ian's expression instantly darkened. He grabbed my arm and was about to say something when my brother interrupted. Since it's meant for her, why don't you ask her directly? Why ask our Maya? Or do you want to give Maya a ring? Hearing the last remark, Ian's face turned slightly red. I pried Ian's fingers off my arm one by one. Since you've decided to get back together with Elise, you should go find her quickly. She injured her leg and needs someone to take care of Morgan. Maya, do you even hear what you're saying? Who said I want to get back together with her? Ian raised his voice excitedly, causing passers-by to stop and stare. Holy shit, Ian, what's wrong with you? Whether you get back together or not is between you and Elise. Why take it out on Maya? Seeing Ian about to lose his temper again, I nudged my brother. It's too cold. Let's head back quickly. Just got home. Didn't even have time to take off my shoes. Ian called. I hung up directly, but he stubbornly kept calling me. In the end, he sent me a message. What time are you going to bed? I'll come find you later. I have so much I want to tell you. Can we talk? I didn't want to deal with him anymore, so I turned off my phone directly, but just as I turned off the lights to sleep, there was a knock on my bedroom door. Maya, someone's looking for you. Come out now. I pulled the blanket over my head. I'm asleep. Whatever it is, talk tomorrow. It's Elise looking for you. My eyes snapped open, and I frowned. What does she want from me? Elise stood outside the door, holding several exquisitely wrapped gift bags, smiling warmly. I brought back a few skincare sets from abroad. I meant to give them to you earlier, but I forgot. As soon as the bedroom door closed, Elise's smile vanished instantly. I couldn't be bothered to put on a friendly smile anymore, so I got straight to the point. You came to me for something else, didn't you? Elise dropped all pretense and unceremoniously plopped into a chair, crossing her legs. Her demeanor made it seem as if she were the lady of the house. Maya, I won't beat around the bush. I know that during my years abroad, Ian has been getting close to you, but I'm back now. And I'm going to marry him and have children with him. I hope you can keep some distance from him. A question mark slowly formed in my mind. You must have misunderstood something. Ian and I are just like siblings. Are you done? If you're done, please leave. I want to sleep. I wasn't close to her in the first place. And then she randomly pinned labels on me, which made me feel very uncomfortable. But the next second, Elise became ferocious. If it weren't for you, Ian and I would have successfully gotten back together tonight. What are you pretending not to know? Ian likes you. Can't you see that? In my past life, I would have firmly told her that Ian liked me. But in this life, I see clearly now, Ian still has Elise in his heart. Let me say it again. Ian and I are just like siblings, now and forever. This relationship will never change. If you like Ian, then go after him bravely, instead of wasting time on an outsider like me. Elise was left speechless by the retort, unable to utter a word for a long time. In the end, she left the bags of gifts behind and walked away without saying anything. But after she left, instead of feeling the satisfaction of venting, I only grew more depressed. In my previous life, just after Ian and I publicly announced our marriage, Elise came to see me privately. I thought she was here to make trouble, but surprisingly, she was extremely calm. She took out her phone and showed me the chat records between her and Ian, flipping through them page by page. From the moment they first added each other as friends, the initial polite exchanges, to getting to know each other, and then becoming familiar, from the first date to the first confession, becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. Even after they broke up, at least during the years she went abroad, they maintained a seemingly friendly yet ambiguous connection. She watched the light in my eyes gradually dim, a hint of triumph rising within her. See that, Ian truly loves me. So what if you married him? His heart would never be with you. He married you not out of love, but mere obligation. Yet I refused to believe, convinced that cold chat records could never replace the person by my side day and night. But who would have known, Elise's words would prove prophetic. I slept restlessly that night, remaining awake until dawn. Until my brother knocked on the door outside. Maya, didn't you say the other day you wanted to find a partner? My friend is returning from abroad today. He studied medicine, same as your major. Would you like to meet him? I immediately perked up. Sure, out with the old, in with the new, for now. The best distraction is to make more friends. Seeing me actively getting ready to wash up, my mom sighed and said I've really grown up. I smiled self-deprecatingly and said it was all thanks to Ian. My brother's friend was very straightforward and quickly settled on a meeting time. He even proactively asked for my contact information and had my brother share my WeChat with him. After adding him, I noticed his profile picture was a black cat. Suddenly, I felt a sense of familiarity because my profile picture is a British short-hair cat. He told me we'd meet tomorrow at a Hune cuisine restaurant near my place. How did you know I love spicy food? I was pleasantly surprised. Seeing it was the restaurant I frequented, ask your brother. I couldn't help but feel a hint of goodwill towards those who did their homework in advance. Just as I was on my way to the appointment, Ian's calls kept coming in. I impatiently hung up. Seeing that I wasn't answering the phone, he switched to texting. Maya, where are you right now? I'm coming to find you now. Let's have a proper talk. Maya, can you reply when you see this? I don't want our relationship to become so distant. I directly set up a do not disturb reminder. Entering the restaurant, I followed the waiter's lead and walked toward Eli Morgan's pre-booked table. From a distance, I spotted a refined-looking man with glasses sitting by the window. That must be my brother's friend. At our first meeting, Eli Morgan was quite thoughtful, pulled out a small gift for me. It was an exquisitely carved wooden music box, with a gentle twist of the key. The music box emitted a delightful melody. There's music, birdsong, and the sound of babbling water. It's quite delightful. Eli Morgan looked at my joyful expression and suddenly said, I made this. Aren't you studying medicine? How can you make such little gadgets? I gasped in amazement. Eli Morgan looked somewhat shy yet with a hint of pride. The subtle expressions on his face were adorable and lively, like a child's. My grandfather was a carpenter. I learned it from him when I was little. I gave him a thumbs up, full of admiration for this multi-talented guy. After chatting and dining together, Eli Morgan left me with a very comfortable impression. By the time we were almost finished eating, I was already joking around with him. Getting such an expensive gift on our first meeting, I don't even know how to return the favor. I can't draw or sing. Eli Morgan laughed at my joke. It's fine. We'll meet again next time. Consider it my gift in return. Amid the laughter, a familiar voice suddenly sounded behind me. That voice shattered my good mood instantly. Turning around, I saw Ian standing before me, looking utterly exhausted. Maya, do you have any idea how hard I've been looking for you? Ian placed his hands on his knees, slightly out of breath, looking as if he had run all the way here. Seeing Eli Morgan, who was sitting across from me, Ian immediately furrowed his brows. He quickly walked up to me and pulled me up from the chair. I was wondering why you weren't answering any of my calls or messages. Maya, you've got some nerve. We're not even broken up yet. And you're already rushing to date another man. Ian's voice wasn't too loud or too soft, but it was enough to draw glances from several nearby tables. He was gripping me so tightly it hurt. I tried to shake him off, but he only held on tighter. Ian, stop talking nonsense. I already agreed to your breakup request after your last birthday. I'm single now, and you have no right to interfere with who I date. Ian was completely enraged and actually tried to kiss me in public. I wanted to slap him, but both my hands were restrained, leaving me powerless to stop him. At that moment, a strong hand reached between me and Ian. Eli Morgan effortlessly pushed Diane aside and shielded me behind him. Sir, if you continue like this, I'll call the police and report you for sexual harassment. Who the hell are you? I'm talking to my girlfriend. Get out of my way. As he spoke, Ian recklessly grabbed Eli Morgan by the collar, trying to shove him aside. However, being shorter in height, Eli Morgan was taller, and instead, Eli Morgan lifted him up with both hands. Let me go, sir. With such a volatile temper, it's hard to believe you're her boyfriend. What if you're a bad person trying to abduct this lady? Everyone, judge for yourselves. Isn't that a possibility? Eli Morgan's rational and gentlemanly demeanor quickly gained the approval of those around him. Ian, seeing he was no match, finally gave up struggling. Just as Eli Morgan had set Ian down, the latter suddenly lunged forward, attacking Eli Morgan. The two men fell to the ground, wrestling with each other. Even the restaurant security couldn't hold them back. I dialed 110 to call the police without any expression. Then I called Elise on the phone. Tell her to keep a better eye on her boyfriend. Who would have thought Elise would say coldly, from now on, don't call me about anything related to Ian anymore. There's no way we're getting back together. Before I could respond, she hung up the phone. I stared at my phone with a puzzled look, unsure of what was happening. At the police station, the officers gave both of them a lecture on proper conduct and soon released them. Just outside the police station, Ian couldn't contain his excitement as he looked at me again. I sighed helplessly, saying, Ian, please stop harassing me. As soon as the words fell, Ian couldn't wait to say, I was drunk that day. It was just an unintentional joke. Don't take it to heart. Maya, I never thought about getting back with Elise. The one I like is you. I sneered. You keep saying you like me. So why have we been in a secret relationship for 5 years? Why keep me hidden? Ian, the person you like isn't me. It's just yourself. With that, I turned and walked away. Ian immediately followed like a clingy dog. I'm warning you, if you keep following me, I'll call the police. Eli Morgan stepped in to block him. Ian finally had no choice but to stand there watching us leave. But I never expected that Ian would turn around and announce our relationship to the whole world. Early the next morning, before I was even awake, my brother was banging on my door. Maya, come out right now. I have something important to ask you. When I groggily opened the door, I saw Ian and my brother standing there. I instinctively tried to close the door, but my brother blocked it. Maya, Ian and I have come clean about everything. Don't you have anything to confess? I have nothing to confess. We're just sworn siblings. That's all. But he told me you two dated for 5 years. What's going on? Hearing my brother's words, I laughed. Sure, we've been together for 5 years. May I ask, second brother, what evidence do you have? Ian opened his mouth but ultimately couldn't say anything. In 5 years of dating, he never posted a single moment about me on his social media. Even if he did post, it was always a group photo of the three of us. For 5 years in love, all the gifts we exchanged were related to food and drinks. He didn't want to leave behind anything substantial. Afraid of being discovered, I had doubts and felt wronged at times. He said I was still young and feared my family would oppose us. But I'm not that young anymore. I've been with him since I was 18, and now I'm 23. Ironically, Ian couldn't produce a shred of evidence. At that moment, he suddenly remembered something. Don't you have our photos together in your phone? Show them to your brother. I did have them, but I deleted all those taken when we were alone together. The only photo left is the group picture we took when the three of us went out to play. My brother, who was listening to our conversation on the side, had already started to suspect something. He suspected Ian might have something wrong with his head. You say you've been in a relationship for 5 years, and it's understandable if people around you didn't know. How can there not be a single shred of evidence? Ian, Are you sure you're dating my sister? Who the hell dates like this? Are you even a man? Seeing Ian still trying to insist, my brother was already losing patience. Maya, explain to your brother. I really have been with you for 5 years. Maya, have you forgotten all the things I told you? Have you forgotten you said you loved me? Hearing Ian's words made me nauseous. Bro, I think Ian is still drunk and hasn't sobered up yet. You should take him out quickly. After that, I blocked Ian's all contact information. The message has been made clear enough. Any further persistence would be harassment. Ian later came to my house several times to make a scene. To the point where even my parents found out and had to chase him away with a broom. They found it strange, such a fine young man, yet he seems a bit mentally unstable. Could it be that he had a falling out with Elise and is trying to use Maya as a replacement? Under my brother's persistent questioning, I finally confessed to him about my relationship with Ian over the past 5 years. After hearing it, he didn't scold me. Instead, he patted my head with sympathy. You're such a fool. Why didn't you tell your brother anything? Had I known Ian was such a jerk, I should have cut ties with him long ago. Maya, remember this. Any man who makes you feel wronged in a relationship isn't worth keeping. Cut him off clean and quick, understand? I nodded. After the holiday break, I returned to work at the hospital. I heard from my female colleagues at the nurses' station that a new doctor has joined the surgery department. Not only is he tall and handsome, but is also a top graduate from a prestigious foreign medical school. When I heard them say the doctor's surname was Morgan, my heart skipped a beat. The dishes kept coming, and I absent-mindedly ate the food in my bowl. But early that morning, banners were hung at the hospital entrance, and even a welcome ceremony was held. Only then did I realize that the newly hired doctor was indeed Eli Morgan. Amid the applause, he saw me and flashed me a smile. That smile lingered for a long time, so long that everyone couldn't help but follow his gaze to look at me. The colleague next to me nudged me. What, do you two know each other? I quickly lied. No, today is actually my first time meeting Dr. Morgan. As soon as the words left my mouth, Eli Morgan walked towards me. Maya, what a coincidence. He reached out his hand to me. Everyone was whispering. A month later, everyone in the institute knew Eli Morgan was pursuing me. He would deliberately wait for me to finish work and buy me midnight snacks during my night shifts. Because of his feeding, I've gained 2 pounds. My relationship with Eli Morgan has become ambiguous, just waiting to break through that thin layer, but I never expected to see Ian again at the hospital. It had been over 2 months since I last saw him, and when we met again, he was accompanying a girl to see the doctor. When I saw the girl's face, I was surprised. The girl bore some resemblance to me. Ian noticed me, paused for a moment, then walked towards me. I pushed through the crowd, heading for the elevator, trying to get away from him, but accidentally bumped into someone's embrace. Eli Morgan did push me away. Instead, he held me tighter. The intimate gesture drew sidelong glances from onlookers. I turned back. The elevator doors were about to close. Through the narrowing gap, I saw Ian with a desolate expression. My heart remained unmoved. Farewell, Ian, from now on. You will no longer exist in my world. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.